Okay, so some of these are back from the beginning, binary conversions. You need to practice with that. No calculators will be allowed for the test. Okay, so let's take questions first. Who looked at the review sheet and has a question? Irene? Can you tell me what number it is? What number? 33. Number 33. Okay, so now you know how to do this because we just did this, right? We just did this problem. So you input the 3 temperatures, and if temp 1 is greater than or equal to temp, we just did this problem. So do you have another? I mean, in other words, I'm happy. You sure you want me to go over this one because we just did that on the right? Okay. So ask me another one. So first of all, if I want the menu to print out, how do I print the menu? This is easy. Don't make this harder than it is. Not yet. First, I just want the menu to print out. Just a bunch of Couts. Let's take this over to the program so that I can actually type it. Okay.
I'm assuming you never have a hard time with the program.
What's that?
I'm assuming you never have a hard time.
No, I've just been doing it for so long. No, it's just, trust me. Okay, so we're going to print the menu just with a bunch of Couts. Don't make that harder than it is. Printing the menu just makes those statements appear on the screen, okay? So I'm going to print English, Spanish, French, and then I'm going to have the user input a value. So in this case, they're going to input what type? Int. So we can declare something like int menu option. And then we're going to cin menu option because they're going to see the menu and then they're going to enter a value. So we're going to cin menu option. And now what? What did I tell you always use with menus? Switch. Whoops. And like I said, I think this is our lab tomorrow. So if it's, how do you say hello in English? Just something like. So how do I say hello in Spanish? Is that O? H? I don't know Spanish. What? Okay. And then French is bonjour. What should I do for the last guy? Okay, so who has another question about the review sheet? Another question about the review sheet. Let's take a look at this. Did you have another one? Somebody was asking me, Gurdeep, did you have a question about one of the problems on the review sheet? Binary part? The hex equivalent of binary. Okay, so let's remember to go from decimal to binary, what's my procedure? I know you have to review this, okay? So divide. To go from decimal to binary, we divide. So we do 23 divided by 2, which goes in 11 times remainder 1. 11 divided by 2, which goes in 5 times remainder 1. 5 divided by 2, which goes in 2 times remainder 1. 2 divided by 2, which goes in once, remainder 0, and 1 divided by 2, which goes 0 times remainder 1. So this answer would be 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. That's number 1. Everybody remember this, okay? So then number 2, where's my eraser? Which is the question you're asking me about, right? Okay, so this time I'm going to take 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. So what's the mechanism to go from binary to hex? We start where? The right-hand side, we grab 4 digits. What's 1, 0, 0, 1 in hex? 9, isn't it 9? And 1, 0 is 2. So leading zeros are, always can be put there, but 0, 0, 1, 0 is the same thing as 1, 0, okay? Okay, other question, and then to go for number 3, to go from binary to octal, what do I do? Instead of grabbing 4, what do I do? Grab 3. So 0, 0, 1 is 0, 0, 1 is 1, and 1, 0, 1 is 5? 5? Okay. Oh, did I write it down wrong? Oh. I kept the same number, but if I did number 3, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1 is 3, 1, 1, 1 is 7. Okay. Other questions? Other questions? Yes? To go from binary to hex? Okay. That's the one. Isn't that what we did for number 2? So for number 2, which we did, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, you grab 4 digits. You look up the hex number, which is 9, 2. Okay? Okay. Other questions? Other? 35, yep. Okay, so in this case, write a program that will calculate your BMI. So obviously we're going to see in weight, and we're going to see in height. Now this, if I didn't see in total height, what would I have to do? Let me make this bigger so you can see it. If I didn't, what would be the more natural way to input height? Yeah, so I can do that too. So let's say that I enter height in feet and inches. Remember we did this problem, I think, early on? Actually, I like this problem because it does a lot. Okay. Thank you. This one should be weight, yeah. Okay, so this would be height feet and height inches. So then how do I get total height? How do I get total height? Height feet, what? Height feet times 12. Because if you're 6'1", you want to take 6 times 12 plus height inches. So now how do I calculate BMI? BMI equals weight divided by total height. What did I say here? Times total height times 703. Okay, so now what do I need now? Because now it wants you to say either underweight, thin, or whatever. So what do I need now? An if, good, right? So I say if BMI is less than 18, C out, it's not indenting for me because I'm not in C. So that would be tab. Then what should I do next? Else if And what am I checking for? Let's see, less than 18, less than 18.5. Whoops. La, la, la. You know what to do here. Else if, and then you do a bunch of things here. If BMI, well, actually, I already know that it's not less than 18.5, so I can just say less than 24.9. And then else. Why can I not use the switch statement here? Can I use the switch statement here? No, because it's ranges, so you can't do that for the switch. So you keep going until you get down to the. Is that it? Other questions? Well, here's the thing. If I get here, I know that it's not. I know that it's greater than 18.5, so it's not really necessary here. Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten here unless. See, if it was less than 18, it's out. If it was less than 18.5, it's out. So if I got here, I know for sure that it's greater than 18.5. So I don't actually need to do that second test. Okay, let's see what else. We did that guy. Why don't we do the whole problem here and do a trace? So an IPO. So what are the three columns for the IPO? So what are my nouns here? Input the total purchase and assume tip. So what is my output? Tip. Don't forget to do the input statement. So we're not doing any tax here. So we calculate tip. Okay. So now how do I do a trace? Oh, no, I need to write the code first. Sorry. So when I write the code, what should I do first? You'll have a problem just like this on the test. Absolutely, positively, I promise. So after you've done the IPO, what do I do first? Declarations. So what type should total purchase be? Yes. So see how all the things that we do come together and you have to be able to just put them. Forget it's just capitalizing. Obviously, that's. What's that? I know, I should be going to the program. Okay, so now how do I input total purchase? So now after I've done my declarations, which basically correlates to this and this, what should I do next? Prompt the user. I want to now take whatever lines are going to allow me to input total purchase. So to input total purchase, I say enter total purchase and CN total, whatever I declared it to be up top. Tote. Was it just TOT? Yeah. Okay, now what? Calculate tip. So tip equals what? Total purchase. And let's make a constant tip rate. So in addition to these guys, I need to declare constant float tip rate equals 0.20. No. Okay, and then total bill equals what? How do I calculate total bill? What does total bill equal? Well, we assume, I think this problem sort of assumes that tax is taken care of. And then see out all of this stuff for bill of Okay, and then let's do the thing which I know nobody's very good at, which is the traces, but they're going to be on the test. So suck it up. Okay, so in order to do a trace, what's my first step in doing the trace? Write the variables across the top of the page. It's not that hard a step, right? Okay? So we have 3 variables. I'm going to add an output column, so I'm going to add a table here that's 4 columns long. Okay? So I'm going to write total purchase. I'm going to write tip. And I'm going to write total bill. And my last column is what? Output. So now I'm going to pretend to be the computer. So what is the first thing that the computer will do? See out total purchase. So where will that show up in my trace table? So over here it's going to say enter total purchase. And then it's going to see in total purchase. And this guy said to do a trace of $10. So total purchase, when I get to this line right here, I'm now pretending to be the computer. This is my second line. Total purchase became 10. Now I'm going to get to the next line. Tip equals total purchase times 20%. So tip is $2. Okay, now I'm going to get to this line right here. Total bill equals total purchase, which is 10, plus tip, which is 2. Total bill is, okay. Now I get to the last line, which is going to say, no quotes in the output because that will not be output, for bill of total purchase, which is 10. Tip is, look back at your chart, 2. I need a space here. I can tell from my, and 12. And if I really did this trace, I might want to put some dollar signs in here to make this prettier. And that's all you need for a trace. Just go through each one. Questions? Okay, what else? Yeah. Yeah, so fix it, and then, well, in other words, in real life, you're supposed to recompile, rerun it, but if you're doing it in a test, then go back and fix your problem so that it's right. Fix the problem, and then, I mean, the trace is to find your problems. I'd like to see the correct answer on a test. I don't really want to see your errors. But your trace, that's actually a good question. If your trace doesn't match your program, you will lose a point. I want you to make sure that it matches. If you say, you know, you're outputting total bill and you say in your thing total, I'm going to see that you're really not tracing. I mean, nothing, not something small like that. But a lot of people just want to fill in the trace. It's really meant to be just what I did. I know it's tedious, but that's the purpose of a trace. Okay, so what else? Go ahead. I think the study guide is long, a little bit longer, but a lot of these are the same thing. I mean, you're definitely going to have these conversions. You're definitely going to have these answers. You're definitely going to have some output questions. You're definitely going to have code. This looks like the homework, doesn't it? Haven't you had homework problems like this? This looks like homework problems. You're definitely going to have some traces like this. Okay, that looks very similar. And then how many problems do I have at the end here? I have 1, hold on, 2, 3. This might be a little bit longer. No, might not. I don't think it's going to be that much longer. I think the test will be similar in format to this. Very similar, not the same problems, but you'll see, when you first look at that test, you're going to see binary hex. This first page is going to look similar, but the numbers will be changed to protect the innocent. Alexander? Yeah, if I say include declarations, then include declarations. If I don't, then don't. Okay? If I say, yeah? Number 11. Okay, let's take a look at number 11 now. So for these problems, you should plug in. So for number 11, which has higher order of operation for number 11? I told you up here what's going to take place first. The and that's actually true in C++. And has higher priority than, I don't know why, to me that's a weird rule. Not equal, higher priority. So in this case, what's going to happen? Number 11, what's going to happen first? B and D. So B is true. Can I short circuit the AND if I have a true? Say no. No. If I have a true and an AND, I can't short circuit because I can only short circuit an AND if I have what? False. So since this guy is true, I need to keep going. D is true, so the middle portion of this is true. Now, in an OR, can I short circuit if I have a true? Yes. Just saved yourself time. True, done. So you can short circuit in the test also. Okay? The answer is true. Okay? Other questions. So you're going to have your conversions. You're going to have stuff just like this. It's not hard. It's all no surprises. Yes. Okay. Can I ask? Can I one other thing? I would recommend that you know what integer overflow is. Okay. Number 7. H and G. H plus G. H is 4. G is 3. 7 and F is 2. 7 modulus 2 is what? 1. Yeah, because 2 does not go in evenly. The remainder is 1. Does that make sense? 7 modulus 2 is 1. I don't know the answer off the top of my head. Okay, let's see. So F divided by 2. F is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. E is 1. 1 plus 3 plus 1 is 5. Well, you won't have the same numbers. I mean, you might not have the same, and the problems will be slightly different. So, I mean, the bottom line is you have to know how to do these things. All the cheat sheets in the world aren't going to help you with, right? I mean, you have to know how to practice, practice, practice. That's the solution. Okay, other questions. So conversions, writing code, traces, IPOs for the first and last time, and being able to trace these different scenarios. Number 12. Okay, so what is the output? Oh, this is a good question. So what's the output if y is 7 for this problem? Seven. Okay, look at number 12. If y is 7, this guy is what? True. So we're going to output y, which is 7. If y is 3, this guy is true. So we're going to output 3. Oh, wait. Do I have no falses in this? All right, so let's try. Let me change this a second. So let's say that I make this guy 2. What is the output if y is 2? Y. Everybody sees the difference between outputting this, which outputs what? The value of y, and this, which outputs what? The letter y. You didn't know this several weeks ago, okay, right? So everybody...
Wait, so all of these are y?
Yeah, that's a bad example. It should be... No, it's the value of y. It's 7, 3, and 2. I mean, 7, 3, and 10. But if this guy fails, and you see out y in quotes, you should get a y on the screen. Y in quotes causes y to go out. Do you see the difference between this?
Oh, anything in
Quotes goes out directly. Any other questions? Okay, so we're all good. Questions about the homework? How about questions about the homework? Yeah. Number 15 from the which? Practice, okay. Number 15, declare a variable to store the number of checks. So what type should that be? That's all. Mm-hmm. Number which one? Okay. Okay, so there's three things I could do for 20. If you don't want to care, you're welcome to leave. I'm just reviewing for the test. Okay, so what are 3 ways of incrementing? But please be quiet if you're not going to, either leave or be quiet. So how would I increment the number of checks? What does increment mean? Add 1. Okay, so there's 3 ways of doing this. One is num checks equals num checks plus 1. What's another way of doing it? Num checks plus plus. And then we had another one, which I don't know if anybody remembers. Plus equals 1. That's just a C thing. You don't have to know that. That's just a C thing. No, no. Other questions? We good? Okay, see you tomorrow.